Shiver me timbers, it's Ardbeg. Welcome to another episode of Erik Whiskey Studies, and in this video, I'm going to do a review of the 2020 committee release from Ardbeg. The bottling is dedicated to the 20th Ardbeg distillery manager, Mickey Heads, who, after 13 years producing one of the most smokiest drams in Islay, decided to retire, but will continue as chairman of the Ardbeg committee for a further 3 years, including overseeing the 20th anniversary celebrations this year. This whiskey is aged in rye casks, bottled at 51.8% alcohol by volume. It retails for $178 to $200. However, most are selling for at least $300, some places even as high as $500. So this is a really unique whiskey, different than anything I've ever seen from any distillery in Scotland, let alone Ardbeg, being aged in rye casks. If you know of another distillery in Scotland that has aged a whiskey in rye casks, let me know, put a comment down below. I've looked around, I have not been able to find it. So it makes it a little bit challenging to compare with other whiskeys since it is so unique. But as expected, it definitely has a distinctive rye pepperiness to it. But on the nose, straight up, I get a lot of tropical notes of pineapple, perhaps canned pineapple, apples, pears, and a little bit of that lemon lime character. And then all of that is interwoven with the classic traditional profile of Ardbeg's peatiness. Lagavulin, Lefroy all do peated whiskeys, and Kalila, Bowmore, but Ardbeg has a distinctive character that I just called Ardbeginess that really makes it stand out, very different than a lot of its neighboring distilleries. So I get the barbecue notes. So you get barbecued pineapple, barbecue apples and pears, lemon and lime. There's a little bit of a chocolate note there as well. There is, I would say, and a lot of people describe it the same way, there's sort of a barbecued ham character to it. So it's got that savory note there. It's got plenty of fresh fruit, a little bit of that smokiness that sort of wraps around it all, and that really punch of fruit of pineapple, pears, and apples, and lemon and lime. Slight oceanic character, a little bit of salty sea breeze, and a little bit of sort of a seaweed character. All right, on the palate. Huge punch of sweetness enveloped in smoke, chocolate, saltiness, the savory note there. The sort of barbecued ham is going on there, and that's enveloped with pineapple and lemon and lime, and a little apple and pear note. And then just sort of about 3/4 of the way back, the pepperiness of the rye sort of hits. And it's kind of strange, it's very punctuated. It's not like peppered, it's not like peppering of spice note throughout. It's very pointed and just sort of like a dagger, just poof, hits you with a punch of pepper. Now, when I first opened it, got down into the neck, it was somewhat, I would say, delayed, and it was just sort of a little bit more overwhelming, sort of an exaggerated characteristic of the whiskey. But now, working it down a little bit, that pepper note is still there, still very pointed in the flavor profile, but it's become much more enveloped along with the other characteristics. An absolutely superb whiskey, very distinct from anything else Ardbeg has ever put out. You notice 51 plus ABV. I've not found it at all having a huge bite. In terms of alcohol bite, sure, you get a little bit of warmth. It is very drinkable at this ABV. Will it take a little water? Sure. It'll punctuate the smoke a little bit more. Fruit will still be there, but doesn't change it radically. This is an absolutely spectacular whiskey that maybe from the neck pour, the pepperiness from the rye was a little exaggerated and not as well balanced, but once you get past the neck pour, it really envelops it really well. I absolutely love this whiskey. It's got sweet, it's got savory, it's got smoke, and it's got spice. Absolutely fantastic whiskey. What would I give it in terms of a score? I'm gonna I'm gonna go 94 points. 94 points. This is absolutely superb. Now, what about the price? So, committee releases, period, tend to be difficult. In case you don't know, Ardbeg puts out a committee release generally around March every year. Then they have, for Ardbeg Day, a lower ABV bottling. So they tend to have the standard committee around March, and then in June, for Ardbeg Day, the one that's at 46% ABV. So last year you had the Ardbeg Black cask strength, then you had the Ardbeg at 46% in June. I don't know if they're going to have a Ardbeg Day version of this. I have not yet heard, but perhaps they will. But this is absolutely superb. Price-wise, I paid $300, all right? You search on the internet, the places that have it available now, $500 and up. Places that had it, supposedly, at the more retail price of closer to $200, instantaneously, they actually sell out. So this is a bottle really challenging to get. If I can get another one, at the $200 range, I'm definitely going to pick one up because this is an absolutely superb whiskey. Challenge, as I mentioned before, very difficult to compare it with other Scotch whiskeys since I don't know of any other Scotch whiskeys that have been aged in rye cask. So it really makes it really unique. But I like the development, I like the depth, I love the sweetness, I love the savoriness, I love the smoke, I love that punch of pepper and spice on the end. Absolutely fantastic whiskey. Now, is it my favorite of all the committee releases that I've had? No. Ardbeg Dark Cove still remains my favorite. Ardbeg Dark Cove still remains my favorite. Do I like this more than the Ardbeg Drum? Yes, I like it better than the Drum. Far exceeds the Perpetuum. I like it more than the Ardbeg Grooves. I'm going to say thus far, this is probably, do I like it as much as Ardbeg Black? No. I would say thus far, my ranking in terms of the best committee releases that I've had out coming at Ardbeg have been Dark Cove, Ardbeg Black, and then this is coming in at number 3. At number 3 in terms of the committee releases that I've had. The only committee release I haven't had, I've never had the Ardbeg committee release of the Kelpie. I had the regular Kelpie. I did not have the committee release of the Kelpie. Kelpie, however, also has a spicy character to it. Even the regular Kelpie, similar to this. But anyway, all right. This has been an absolutely fantastic whiskey, something I look forward to every year doing this review. If you like watching my content and you're not yet subscribed, and ask that you subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when I go live or post a new video. And if you are one of my Patreons, I want to thank you very much for supporting this channel. All right, until next time, Slanjiva.